Matt Burney, you're taking a look at stakes action from Delaware Park, graded stakes action for that matter. The 7th race on Saturday, mile and 16th on the main track. The Grade 3 Delaware Oaks for 3-year-old fillies. Before we dive into the field, bets.drf.com is where you need to go for all the latest and greatest as far as new sign-up offers are concerned, existing customer offers, whatever the case may be. Bets.drf.com is where you need to go. Let's take a look at the field of 3-year-old fillies going 8.5 furlongs at Delaware Park Saturday afternoon. This is an interesting race because at face value, when you look at it, there are two horses that seemingly stand out above all else. The number 5, Jaywalk. The number 4, Fashion Faux Pas. Upon further review, I would be terrified to take either of them at too short a price. Let's begin with Jaywalk, who I presume is going to be a relatively heavy favorite in here. Goes up for John Service. We know John Service is a great trainer. Joe Bravo's got the mount. We know he's a great rider. Her 2-year-old form was tremendous. She won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. She won 2-year-old champion honors when it was all said and done. She comes back as a 3-year-old. 3-year-old seasonal debut. The Devona Dale, a complete dud. A disastrous effort from her. In hindsight, though, she ran into 3 decent enough horses in Geltrin, Cookie Dough, and Champagne Anyone. Okay, maybe she needed a race. She comes back in the Ashland. Forwardly placed. Day when it helped to be relatively close to the pace. Really offered up no resistance when the real running began, rounding the far turn. Fades, finishes 3rd, defeated by 2 lengths. Look at that and you go, oof, maybe she's not quite the same filly. Kentucky Oaks happens. She gets disqualified after bouncing people around out of the gate. Ends up dropping the rider, I believe on Positive Spirit. I could be wrong. The name may be slipping my mind. But the point is, she was involved in a little altercation at the beginning. She was disqualified. Now she comes back here after a little bit of a layoff. The blinkers go on for the first time in her career. And look, she's won at Delaware. If she runs her best race is simply better than everyone else's best. I just don't know how you could sit there and with a straight face say you think it's going to happen when you're realistically and reasonably looking at 4 to 5, maybe even money. She can absolutely win. I just don't have any faith that we're going to see the good version of her. Now, if you wanted to tell me that from a tactical standpoint, no one else will run with her early, I won't argue with you. Timeform US kind of agrees. They have the 5 out there by herself on the front end, followed by the 3, the 1A, and the 4. If you're looking for the sort of other horse, the other logical alternative, the 4, Fashion Faux Pas. Goes out for a great trainer, Arnaud Delacour, good rider, Daniel Centeno. You take a look at the figures that she earned in that lighthearted stakes most recently. A 97 buyer, highest last out in the field. 118, highest last out raw number, as far as time form is concerned. But I look at the overall body of work, and I go through 6 lifetime starts. You had a career best figure of 80. Then you almost jumped up to 100. Then perhaps it is as simple as you take a look at her dirt form as a 2-year-old. She was earning 79 and 80 buyers. This is not an outrageous jump up for her, considering her 2 races prior were on grass. I still have to look at that a little bit with some side eye and say, you know what? I'm not questioning the fig. I just don't know where it came from, and I need you to back it up before I go and back you at a short price. She could certainly go out there and waltz on the front end again the way that she did, or sit just off of a target and then blow the doors off the field. At a short number, I don't want Fashion Faux Pas. So this is one of those rare instances where the 2 horses that are going to take money, I think there are legitimate questions about both of them, and I think you can seriously take a stand against them. Now, maybe they'll go out there and strut their stuff, and if they do, again, clap of the hands, tip the cap, say, you know, well done. But the beautiful thing about racing is it's all about finding value, and I think you can find a little bit of value in here. Let's take a look at some of the horses that I think are a little bit overmatched. The 1 got to be strong for Jamie Ness. You look at the paper, it's a little bit difficult to make this horse from a numbers standpoint. Needs to run the career best race of her life. Maybe stretching out in distance will help. I'm a little bit dubious. The 2, Ujayi, this is another one that from a numbers standpoint, simply put, an 81 career best buyer, I don't think is fast enough to get the job done in here. I think you're probably looking at a mid to high 80, if not a low 90, winning this thing, given the way that Fashion Faux Pas earned that 97 most recently. And we know on Jaywalk's best day, she can earn a mid-90 buyer. The 3, Avelina, for Danny Gargan, is a sneaky one in here, in my opinion. And I think she might be the one that if you're not sold on the 2 heavy chalks, maybe it's Avelina's time to take a chance. Take a look. We've got a positive formulated effect for Danny Gargan. Past 5 years, dirt winner last out, 31 to 60 days in route races, 13 for 44, 29 times in the money with a 369 ROI. The field that Avelina defeated in that stakes race at Parks back at the, let's say, middle of May. Dreadful field. She didn't beat anything in there. 3rd place finisher came back and earned a 46 buyer. 5th place at 55. The way she did it, though, I think she might be a solid filly. Now, I don't know if she's a superstar. probably too early to say that definitively. She's 3 for 4 lifetime. She's a head away from being a perfect 4 for 4. She's going to be facing better horses this time around. But strictly from a number standpoint and a value standpoint, I think she may be I don't want to say the right pick because that's very condescending. And there's no such thing as necessarily a right pick. Everyone has their opinion on what is right and what is wrong. I look at Avelina and say, if you don't like the two heavy favorites, she feels like the most likely to upset both of them. If it's not her, maybe it's our Super Freak, the 1A, another Nest runner, handled very easily by Fashion Faux Pas, lost by almost 15 lengths in that lighthearted stakes. The Black-Eyed Susan, I don't want to hold that race against her given the way that things sort of shook down. You go to the runs 3 and 4 starts back. I guess she's in with a puncher's chance. I thought all along added ground would be to her benefit, but it's hard to sit here with a straight face and say I think she's going to make up 14 lengths unless Fashion Faux Pas is the one that sort of narrows that gap by taking a step backwards. We'll find out. I'm against our Super Freak. And then the outside runner, A Fleet Destiny for Uriah St. Louis. Look, this is another one, career best buyer of 70. Keep in mind, some connections are probably in here with ulterior motives. A horse like this, the 70 buyer, certainly not competitive to win. Heck, it's probably not competitive to hit the board. But if she does hit the board, you get that valuable graded stakes placing. She has it already as a 2-year-old. Maybe you can get it as a 3-year-old again. A Fleet Destiny, if you're going to use her, I would use her underneath. So I don't like Jaywalk. I don't like Fashion Faux Pas. I'm going to go with who? The number 3 Avelina for Danny Gargan. I just think if those top 2 run their best race, it's probably better than anybody else's. But I have enough reason to take a little bit of a stand against either of them, and I'll take a look at Avelina, the horse that I think has some more upside and could take a forward move here. 3-5-4 for me in the 7th at Delaware Saturday, the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks. If you're playing this race, playing any of the races at Delaware Park, DRF Bets is the way to do it. Bets.drf.com is where you need to go for all the details as far as an account is concerned. Race number 7 at Delaware on Saturday. The Delaware Oaks, scheduled post time 4:37 Eastern. Good luck.